Hey there, it's Alex with your local studio.
Were we starting?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely outtake. Yeah. Okay. Hey there, it's Alex with your local studio. Today, we're going to break down some marketing videos. I have two fantastic experts with me today. I have Joe Daly, video producer.
How's it going?
And I also have Jason Urgo, social media analytics expert with Social Blade.
Hey.
All right, let's get started. First video up is Homepod by Apple. It was released very recently on March 5th. So let's watch it.
Hey Siri, play me something I'd like.
Like up to this point, it's almost like a movie.
Yeah.
I just felt like she was sad.
Now this is interesting.
The first time I saw that, I thought I just missed something.
You're like, wait, what did happen? Impressive.
It's very impressive. From a production point of view, the amount of budget that Apple has to do this stuff is just insane. I mean, this is like movie level kind of production.
Cinematic, it's engaging, you definitely know they spend a lot of money and time on it, but obviously Apple can do that. I don't think any of their commercials and stuff have ever been, they've never went cheap on it.
Right, if you go back to the old iPod commercials where it's the silhouette dancing, that's like the cheapest, or that's cheap,
simplistic.
You know, simplistic. And now they've gone on to this kind of movie, kind of cinematography kind of thing with all these different kinds of eye products.
Yeah. As far as like the strategy of why they decided to choose almost a music video to introduce and promote, because I believe this is the first time they promoted the HomePod, right?
Yeah.
HomePod.
HomePod, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I've heard that it was coming out, but then they used this to introduce it. I thought that was interesting. It's like, you see it twice. Once in that one time where she said, hey, play me something I'd like. And then at the very end.
And what they're really, I think, going for with this whole thing is Apple, is late to the game with this sort of personal assistant type of a thing. And I think they realize that Siri is not as good as like Google or Amazon's one. But what they're really going for with this, and what the whole ad is about here, is that it is arguably the one with the best sound right now. And one of the things I think they're going for is that it can, it's in your home in this potentially little space, apartment in New York or something here. But when you're listening to it, it opens everything up and you have this huge full studio sound. I think it's what they're really going for. And I think that, by not trying to show that Siri is this awesome virtual assistant and going for the sound, that's where they win right here.
And they did also kind of highlight how smart Siri can be, because instead of saying, play this song by this artist, she said, play me one of my favorite songs. And they are kind of...
There is some personalization.
Yeah. So they're trying to say if you're in the Apple ecosystem, our personal assistant can know what you like and play it. I like your point, though.
But they're not showing that it can turn your lights on and off or control your thermostat. It's music. Yeah.
Music, I think, is always already back from that Apple commercial. He said they were dancing. They have always been in the music space, so it made total sense. So it's interesting the strategy they approached. Let's talk about production side. We already established that they didn't go cheap on this. This is our high production quality example that we're going over. What are your thoughts or breakdown of both from pre to post?
Well, the one big step, and you'll see it right in the title of the video. This is directed by Spike Jonze. I don't know if you guys know who Spike Jonze is. I grew up a big Weezer fan, and he was like the go-to music director in the mid-'90s. And then he's also directed a couple movies like Adaptation and a couple other big movies that you would have heard of. Okay. So they put this guy attached to it. And so right away, you have that name in the title. It's like, okay, we have this artistic director in there. So once you attach his name to it, then you can get your pick of dancers and actresses and all that kind of stuff with it. So I'm sure they could go through the best dancers and actresses they had around. Now, as far as the visual effects and everything like that, that's when everything starts to get really expensive. And the planning becomes very detail-oriented. Watching this, there's a lot of special effects that I just sat there trying to figure out what it was they did, and I still have no clue if it's green screen or set or... It's awesome.
It's
very cool.
I wonder if it was a mix of both there, that they had the actual set expanding, but then they green screened in what it looked like.
It's got to be, right? It's got to be a combination of the two things somehow.
Yeah.
But so the actual production, the days they were shooting this, you can tell they had a full-on production, obviously a huge production crew to go with this. The same kind of thing you would see on any kind of Oscar-nominated movie, like that size production.
Yep.
The best of the best, because it's Apple that has the money to spend.
Yep.
And then you go into the post-production side of it, and you start to get this kind of look to it. And you notice from the beginning, it's kind of this like really matte kind of look to it. Not a lot of color. She's on the subway.
Yep,
And then we transition, and there's very bright colors.
Yeah.
And that's all kind of figured out in pre-production, and in post you kind of enhance it a little bit.
Yeah. So they definitely storyboarded this whole thing. They spent a lot of time and money on
Oh
that.
yeah, the storyboarding was, I'm sure, pre-production for this is huge. For any kind of video, it's huge. But for this kind
The
of
higher
thing,
production value, the higher your
They had to
the more you wanna
choreograph
put
the
in.
entire thing.
Yeah.
Also,
Correct.
Like as she moves around, the set moves with her.
Yes.
There.
Other examples of videos we'll look at, we'll probably see that they probably didn't put that much pre-production thought into it.
Yes. Yes.
This one, the higher production value, definitely the pre-production is necessity. All right, let's talk about distribution. Like, I saw this video first on a Facebook ad. It was just, you're scrolling through videos and watching the next thing, and suddenly this one starts playing. Immediately, I thought it was just another video movie to watch, which I think natively, when you're looking at ads, it's less of an interruption.
Right. They're really trying to grab at your emotions on this one here. And if it doesn't feel like you're being advertised to, that's definitely, usually at least more effective.
Right.
Because then you're wanting to watch it rather having something thrown at you there.
And it has so much a music video feeling. I mean, it was directed by someone who does music videos, and the majority of it's just singing and dancing. So it natively, it goes well, I guess, in those platforms as far as Facebook and YouTube.
Interestingly, on YouTube, though it has 6.79 million views as we're watching this here, if I scroll down a little, they actually have comments disabled completely on here, which is an interesting choice. They're not letting the community actually really interact and push this. They have the social thumbs up and thumbs down signals on, but no one can actually say anything.
Why do you think they did that?
I was going to say that. Why do you think that's...
I wonder if they're worrying for negative feedback or...
Sometimes YouTube comment sections can turn into kind of like a cesspool a little bit of...
They're wanting their brand to be...
untainted.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's just like, here it is, watch it, enjoy it, but don't comment.
Right.
Interesting.
Definitely interesting on the social scape there.
Yeah, I'm betting that a lot of these views, though, are because they're promoting it as an ad.
An advertisement.
Because I saw it on YouTube as well. It's an ad. I don't know if it's a before ad. What do they
Pre-roll?
call it? A pre-roll ad, but I've seen it as on the upper section.
And that would, well, if their comments were enabled, but then, it had a lot of views, no comments, but you're able to, that would definitely show that. We don't have that feedback here, so you don't know exactly how people are watching it because they are disabled too, though.
So to wrap up, are your guys' thoughts on how another business or marketer out there could take any insights from this video?
Well, for this, it's if you have a larger budget, maybe not an Apple budget, but you have a larger budget, the talent for the production side, the talent you can get to go and work on your video can go a long way.
So potentially you could go even farther by specifically thinking about who's producing it, who's going to be starring in it, in order to get additional exposure and
Correct.
to go even farther.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Any thoughts from you on what someone else should take it away from this?
I just keep going for this one in particular back to the emotions there also. That,
story-driven?
Yeah, story-driven and just, taking something that everyone can feel. You have a crappy day at work or at school or wherever you are, and you can go home and music is something that ties people together. And I'll be honest here, Apple's not usually my favorite company, but I like the ad here. I thought that I have the other assistants. This here makes me even interested in actually what this has to offer. So, job well done on that.
Job well done. There you go. That was Apple's HomePod video. Close for that.